135. From the Accident Recovery CM Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey Wichita traffic.
Weather.
From Team 12, it's a blustery morning, and we're waking up with those temperatures in the 30s, but later today, a high of 44, increasing cloud cover and strong northwest winds gusting up to 45 at times. Could see a small chance for some evening flurries, but I mean, partly cloudy, temperatures falling to about 19 tonight, feeling more like those single digits by Saturday morning. Windy conditions continue, but not as bad. Partly cloudy sky and high of only 28 degrees, but likely we should see a little bit of some milder weather on Sunday, a high of 48 degrees and mostly sunny skies. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Halen Woolhite.
Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next, exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
This is Brian Weber filling in for Jim Rome with the Rome Report as we get closer to what is often described as the best weekend in football and the divisional round of the playoffs. The field of remaining quarterbacks is intriguing, but one name stands out, and that's Josh Allen. Few QBs can match Allen's talent and toughness, but his outstanding resume has had a giant hole until now. Allen finally won the first road playoff game of his career in a wild card game victory at Jacksonville. Now the Bills face the top-seeded Broncos in what's essentially a pick'em game. And with that comes even more pressure for Allen, because if the Bills can't reach the Super Bowl in the postseason without Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson, it's fair to wonder if they'll ever get there. And with Allen turning 30 in May, it's also accurate to say the Bills are in danger of squandering the prime of his career, so there's even more on the line in this game. It'll be fascinating to see if Allen can continue to soar in the Mile High City. I'm Brian Weber.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8 year old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Oh, hello. It's me, the calculator that lives inside of TaxSlayer. And let me tell you, I love numbers. 1040s, 1099s, W-2s, all of them. With TaxSlayer, anyone can file a federal return for just $22.99. You'll get 100% accuracy and your biggest possible refund guaranteed. Now those are great numbers. Need help along the way? We've got US-based real human support. File by February 8th for just $22.99 and get the refund you deserve. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
One, two, three. There we go. Hey there, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Sports Daily. My microphone never wants to work at the start of the show, and it's not going to this time as well. I was trying to do my Jacob Albrock impression and hit everybody with the "Hey there, everybody." But, joke fell flat if you can't hear me. Welcome into a Friday edition of Sports Daily. TJ Cleveland in with Jackson Schneider today, filling in for Jacob Albrock. All of a sudden, we've got a jam-packed Friday. We see the Shockers get blown out down in Boca Raton yesterday by Florida Atlantic. What do we make of that? The Dylan Edwards saga may have taken another turn, one that nobody saw coming if it comes true. We hear from Patrick Mahomes for the first time in over a month since his torn ACL about his recovery, his timeline, everything of that. And it seems like it's good news for the Kansas City Chiefs. And of course, it's a Friday. We're making football picks. Jackson is filling in for Jacob. He's bringing in the closer in a way to try to finish off these picks for a bold move. I think if he wins, he gets an asterisk next to his name, or maybe you split the trophy that doesn't exist. I don't know.
Maybe I'll be inspired by the news lately and try to throw the end result of this.
Interesting. Yeah, I could pay. I think that you're opening the door for one of us to pay you off to make some bad picks there. That'd be interesting.
I can be bought. I will admit.
Huh. All right. Well, we'll get into that. Our final picks of the college football season as we get ready for the national championship on Monday. As you can tell, lots to get into. Jackson, good morning. How's your life?
It's good. It was okay until I watched part of the Wichita State game last night, and then that's the first time in a while I've had to turn a game off. It was a tough watch last night. So I watched Division II basketball for a while last night instead, and then went to bed because that was just a rough watch.
If people made it to the triple zeros in the second half, they're either sickos, forgot to turn their TV off, or were getting ready for the NFL Live rerun at 10 o'clock. We had 6 minutes of the Henry Thingville squad last night. No disrespect to Henry, but it was not great last night to see that. What happened, they never let it one single point. They were down as many as 29 at a point, almost got down 30, ended up losing by 19 points. We'll dig into that more in the coming segments. Jackson, any Newman Jets coverage lately? Were you on the road this week?
I went to Joplin for the games at Missouri Southern, and had a good time there. Had a bit of a travel disaster that I had to work through because I had my sweet innocent grandmother book me a hotel room because she's got rewards points to use.
Nice.
But my sweet innocent grandmother booked the hotel for the wrong day. So I ended up in Joplin, Missouri without a hotel room for a while. And homeless in a lot of places is bad. Homeless in Joplin, Missouri is a whole other level.
Range Line Road will get you, man. I'm telling you. If you're ever in that situation, just call me. I got parents 30 minutes away. You can crash in their basement. We'll be good. That's right around my neck of the woods. Hackett's Hot Wings, all the spots down there. I know them all. Great stuff. Yeah, but you're right. You turned off the Shockers last night to watch Division II basketball, and there may not have been much of a drop off the way that the Shockers played yesterday. I think that Paul Mills would agree with that. It felt like a lack of execution, maybe a lack of physicality for what he talked about. This game was going to be a physical one. As I said, we'll dig into it more, but just kind of what do you chalk it up as your synopsis?
I think it can be a lot of things. I think one, going on the road is hard, and sometimes you get punched in the mouth early on the road and you just don't have an answer. I think we've come to expect a lot more than that, though, of Wichita State, especially under Paul Mills. Effort, to me, has never really been a problem, even in their most frustrating moments. But I felt like they came out flat, they got punched in a big way early, and then the effort just was never really where it needed to be. And, again, it's going to happen. The season is long. What I'm hoping for is that a loss like this can help kind of jog a team back to where they need to be, kind of that wake-up call of like, hey, we're not good enough to come out flat like that. We have another game in 2 days. We have a chance to make this road trip worth it. But it was a tough game. And really, it was from the jump. That was, right away.
It is. The bad part about it is that last week they lost to Rice, who was one of the worst teams in the conference, and that was supposed to be the one that was supposed to jog them back. It's confusing. The best word to describe the Shockers is confusing, and maybe they have been in the last couple of years as well. Is that they lose to Rice and then they bounce back against North Texas, who's, by all accounts, one of the, top half teams. They look really good against them. It's like, okay, well, maybe Rice was a fluke. Maybe Charlotte was a fluke. Like, they're going to be okay. They're going to fix what happened there. And then they go and get punched in the mouth early, like we've seen them do, and basically all their losses except for Charlotte. And then there it goes. And they can never get it back. Every other loss of the season, I think that Taylor Eldridge posted this last night, is that of their 7 losses, they had lost by a combined 24 points, and last night they were down 29 at one point. So not the same story, but the same a little bit to see how the game started there. Interesting stuff as they fall now into the conference standings. Jacob Albrock found this stat for us yesterday over on 12 News, is that that win last night would have given Paul Mills an over 500 or a 500 record over 500 record in American Conference play for the first time since being hired at Wichita State. He's never been above 500. He's been 500 multiple times, but last year they got on a 7-game winning streak and got to 500, never got over the hump. They would have gotten it for the first time ever last night. Now they're going to have to win 2 more if they want to get there, and that happens with South Florida on Sunday. The frustrating part about this, Jackson, is that this is the American Conference that they should be winning. They should be in the top 2, top 3. Memphis isn't ranked anymore. Florida Atlantic isn't ranked anymore. South Florida isn't the juggernaut that they were a couple years ago. UAB doesn't have Yax Lindeborg anymore. Like Wichita State, that's the thing that I tell people is so frustrating about this, is that Wichita State is probably more talented than 14 of the teams in the conference. And that's why we get on here at 7 a.m. on a Friday morning and complain about this so much.
I think one thing that is really frustrating is, you're exactly right. I think that they've got the talent, and I think Paul Mills knows they've got the talent. I think this fan base knows that they've got the talent. It's just, isn't it kind of similar to another team in the state that clearly has some talented guys that just so far the puzzle hasn't fit perfectly together? That's not to say it can't. It's not to say that they aren't capable, but it just hasn't worked the way they had hoped for so far this year. And, Florida Atlantic is in first place in the American right now. So I think you can probably shrug this one off and just be like, it is what it is. It's hard to win on the road, and it's really hard to win on the road against great teams. But you have to prove that was kind of a fluke. You have to go to South Florida, who's tied for second in that logjam at the top of the conference right now, and you have to challenge them. I'm not saying you have to win because there's still a lot of games left, but you have to tell us and prove to this city and this fan base that fluky blowout we just saw is not going to happen again. You got to give us some hope.
It's an interesting conversation. We'll talk more about it. I want to expand on that last point that you made there coming up in the next segment. We'll get into some more Shocker talk. Don't forget, we're brought to you by Prairie Fire Coffee. Keeping us fueled up this morning. I've got a warm cup of coffee in hand after what I saw last night, trying to get me through this. We'll talk more Shockers coming up next here on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, welcome back in here to Sports Daily. We're talking shockers still. We are recapping last night's loss in Boca Raton to Florida Atlantic, 85-67. Just before the break, Jackson brought up a good point. That Florida Atlantic is first in the league. Jackson, I'll counter back with Wichita State was only underdogs by 3.5 points in this one. So just as a reference point, like that's just home points getting, like it should have been a pick 'em basically if it was on a neutral court.
Well,
that's the respect that they're giving Wichita State. And as I'm saying, they are one of the most talented teams that just have to find a way to win games and make a run in this. And they beat good teams. They just lose, not silly ones. This is a tough game to go win at, but it's one that you'd want them to go get.
I would push back a little bit on just the home court advantage. I don't know that environment I was looking at on TV last night was worth 3 or 4 points in the spread, but I digress. I think your point is absolutely true. It's just games like this, like I said, they'll happen. Like for any team, you're going to have a bad night. And sometimes that bad night is you lose to a team you should have beaten when you blow an 18-point lead. And sometimes that is just getting absolutely your doors blown off when you go fly to Florida for a weekend. And unfortunately, Wichita State has seen both of those and then everything in between over the last couple of weeks. And the crazy thing is even after last night, like I can still talk myself into this Wichita State team making some gains and climbing up the ladder in the American, and they're going to have a ton of opportunities to do it over the next few weeks. I mean, we mentioned that they already go to South Florida, but then you get a bad East Carolina team. You have a Memphis team that's not really what they used to be coming to Charles Koch Arena. You get a road game at Tulsa, who's been really good, so there's a chance to make up some ground. You get Charlotte back. You go to Tulane. I mean, this schedule over the next couple of weeks is going to give you opportunities to prove that what you've been so far in American play is not what you're going to be at the end of the year.
Yeah, the thing is, this is what I tell a lot of people, and this is the part that's the most confusing about Wichita State, is that, like, people, once you lose, people will start talking about the coaching and the roster and everything. People come out of the woodworks to, hate, basically. And when your team loses, you have a right to be upset about it. I'm not saying anything about that. But the weird part about the Shockers is that, like, you look at them, and as you just said, it's a perfect point. They will be right there, favored or pick'ems in every game that they're going to play in the American Conference. And as a fan, you go into every game looking at them and saying, like, yeah, they could win that game. Like, they're going to Memphis, they could win that game. Like, they have Temple at home, they should win that game. Like, a lot of times you're going to be upset if they lose because they should have won that game or had a real legit chance to go win that game. And to, not to throw salt in the wound here from the conversation yesterday, but as a reference point, K-State, which we referenced earlier in the show, like, you look at K-State basketball, you look at the rest of their schedule, there might be one game that you feel good that they can win. Like, that's the difference here. And whatever you want to say about that, like, it's not time to freak out and throw rocks and everything like that about Wichita State. K-State, maybe you can if you want to. But Wichita, and in the same breath, that makes everything that much more frustrating for Wichita State, that there's not a glaring thing to say. Like, you look at K-State, and it's like, well, maybe the chemistry is not right. Maybe the offense needs a little bit more structure. Maybe the minutes aren't being, spread out the way that you'd want them to. And then you look at Wichita State, and it's like, man, they're running the plays that they should run. They had looks at the basket they didn't make. FAU held Kenyon Giles to 5 shots last night. That's why they lost the game. He scored 2 points. Like, every game is something different, and you can't just hang your hat on saying, like, it's this. This is the reason they're losing games. And maybe that makes it more frustrating, but in the same breath, you can make your glass half full and say that that's easy to come back from, I guess.
What a wild, 2-game stretch, though, for Kenyon Giles, because 2 points on 1 of 5 shooting last night. And then what was it? 33 against North Texas on, I'd have to go back and look how many shots.
It was like 10 of 12. He was incredible.
33 points versus 2 points in a 2-game turnaround is insane. But that just tells me right there that, like, this was maybe an anomaly game. I would say if Wichita State goes and plays at Florida Atlantic like 10 more times this year, I would say more often than not they probably lose. But I would say that most of those games you're going to have chances to win the game. Like, you're going to be within 6-8 points in the final couple of minutes. You're going to have chances. This was just a weird game, and hats off. You have to tip your cap to your opponent sometimes. Like, if you've got a defensive scheme that can hold a score that just put 33 up the other day to just 2 points, like, you're doing something very well, and that's just how basketball is. Other teams are trying to do that to you all the time. Let's just hope that FAU didn't just create a roadmap on how to blow out the Shockers.
I'm curious, but it's so weird is that, like, typically whenever we sit here and we talk about teams taking away a team's best player, like PJ Haggerty, if they take away PJ Haggerty, that usually means he's going to go like 2 of 15 and he's going to have 5 points and he's going to miss a lot of threes and he's going to miss a lot of shots. The weird part about it is that, like, Giles just never got the ball. Like, they did such a good job of denying him the ball. And I have to imagine that's what it was. Like, and I need to listen to what Paul Mills said. I need to read Taylor's article and see what he said about that. But, like, usually if you're taking away a player, you're just making it tough for them to score, bringing doubles or whatever it was. Like, that's the weirdest part about going from 33 points to 2 points is that you only took 5 shots. Like, his first points came like 2 minutes into the game as well. Like, he didn't score for 37 minutes of basketball. So it's just weird about how that happened last night. And that was the one thing that puzzled me the most. Am I right? That's usually not the way that means.
Oh, definitely not. And I mean, especially for a guy that's on the floor as much as he is, like you'd think he'd find a way, or Wichita State would find a way to get him the ball, get him more opportunities, but that just didn't happen. Like, he was on the floor for almost 30 minutes last night and got 5 shots. I mean, I could go play in any pickup game. I guarantee you I'm getting more than 5 shots up. So like, that's just a weird thing to me because he's a guy that's typically a much more high volume shooter. Like, he's going to get you a lot of looks. They might not always go in, but he's getting you looks, and most of the time, at least from what I've seen, they're pretty good looks. I mean, there's no bad shot when you have a day where you're putting 33 on the board. But I didn't. It's weird that also I didn't feel like Wichita State was just like forcing the issue, because if you've got a scorer that's that talented and you're struggling in a game like they were last night, you'd try. I would think you'd be a little bit more intentful about like getting him the ball and finding ways to create looks for him, because clearly everything else they were doing wasn't working well enough last night. So it's it's kind of just this weird storm of issues.
It was just a weird night, and I agree they didn't play well, but you can also just chalk up a little bit of it as that Florida Atlantic isn't going to score 85 points, and they will. I mean, they're a good team. I'm not going to say that. Florida Atlantic isn't going to go nuclear in the first half and have a 25-point lead at one point, and everything of that nature. Wichita State at one point was shooting like 25% from the field. They eventually kind of picked it up. They didn't shoot the 3 well. Michael Gray went 1 for 6. Giles shot 1 3-pointer. Like, to be fair, like this is not the brand of basketball that they're going to play. So it's just an interesting conversation. Patricia on Facebook comments, so you're saying that we were out-coached again. That's the point I'm trying to make earlier, is that it's weird is that you don't really feel like they were out-coached because they got looks that they wanted in the first half. They missed them. And that's the thing that I'm saying, is that it's not a recurring thing. They come out flat. That's the one recurring thing that we have seen them do, and it kind of got them last night. But, you can make the argument about, maybe Kenyon Giles, getting, out-coached, if that's a word you want to use, of not finding ways to out-scheme and combat that type of thing. I'm not sure. But it definitely kind of just felt like it was, what's the meme on Twitter? The nuclear bomb versus coughing baby. That was kind of what we saw last night for a little bit. So,
yeah. And one thing I will say is, like, it's not always about out coaching someone. Like, you could have the best scheme in the sport of basketball any given night, and if the shots don't fall, like, it is what it is. And if your scheme, like, you don't take into account like a defense shutting down your guy, like, you've got to find ways to try and get him involved better. But like, sometimes the other team just has an answer. Like, it's an interesting, or you have the right approach and it's just not working. Like, it is what it is. But basketball is a weird game where you could be in the perfect, defensive alignment or set on offense, and it just doesn't go your way. Because sometimes you put a hand in a guy's face, the shot goes down anyway. It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting point from Patricia. We appreciate the comment. The coaching argument thing, and as I said earlier in the show, whenever you lose games, somebody's going to point fingers at somebody, and it's usually going to be the head coach. People want Bill Self to be fired. Like, when you lose games, people want the coaches on the hot seat, everything of that nature. Wichita State, it's interesting, and it's an interesting conversation about where they are right now, because, like, as we're talking about, there isn't glaring thing. Like, I believe Paul Mills is a pretty good coach. There's just disconnect in some games, it feels like, because they lose games that they need to go win. But then they go, like last year, they beat K-State by 21. They go beat Memphis at home. They, went on a 7-game winning streak in conference play. Like, they win a lot of games that they should win, and they lose a lot of games that they should win as well, or win a lot of games they should lose, and lose a lot of games that they should win. And they just can't find the recipe to make a run in the conference that they should go do. You want to make an argument is that the American Conference If you're going to win it, this is the year to win it. And if you're going to find yourself in currently 9th place where they are at a 2-3 record with a losing record in this American Conference, then, that's not fluky at that point. If the losses keep piling up, something has to change. And I'm not saying something needs to happen. Something needs to be adjusted, whether that be a philosophy or whether that be something. You can't have a losing record in the American Conference this year.
Can I ask you a question here? So the American Conference in the state that it's in right now is probably not a very there might be 2 bids to the NCAA tournament in this conference, maybe.
This year it's 1. Usually it's 2 whenever Memphis or UAB is good.
That being said, obviously you want to put yourself in a position to be better off come conference tournament time. But does losing
does it matter?
Like right now, I'm okay with.
It sucks.
My question to you is are you putting more stock into how this team looks like in the regular season or how they may position themselves for the American tournament? Because if you're an American Conference team right now, you have to win the conference tournament. There is no other path into the NCAA tournament right now. And while I would say it's frustrating, all we've talked about for Wichita State to be where they're at, but until last night, every game they've lost, they have had every opportunity to win. And I would argue that if you're in that position repeatedly over the course of a season, you're going to be in the right spot at the end of the year because you've just learned how to close out games better. At least you would hope that. And I would choose to believe that that's where Wichita State would be should this continue. But to your point, at a certain point, you got to start winning those games to really turn that corner.
It's a good point. Close losses are maybe worth something as you get into the fact that you're going to need to beat these teams in March if you want to achieve that goal. The argument I always push back with, as Jacob kind of brings that up all the time, is that, and to be fair, Wichita State and K-State and KU are in very different spots. K-State is fighting for an at-large big time. KU, before maybe Tuesday night, was fighting for an at-large big time, and they maybe still are, depending on how the rest of the season goes. They aren't worried about getting in via the conference tournament, and nobody in the Big 12 is. If you win the conference tournament or lose in the conference tournament championship, you're probably going to get an at-large anyways. The Big 12 is that good. The American, it's interesting because, these games, if your goal is to make the tournament, these games really don't matter. There's an argument that the conference champion, if they don't win the tournament, they're probably not going to get in. If Florida Atlantic wins the league and then loses to Memphis in the championship of the conference tournament, Florida Atlantic's probably not going dancing. And that sucks, but that's the state of the league this year. There's not a single ranked team in it. Typically, I think the American is probably the 7th best league, maybe 7th best league probably in the country, and they should get 2 bids. This year is not the case. They don't have all the talents that they used to have. It kind of got depleted as the entire conference went to Michigan basically to go play for Dusty May. So that's the thing, is that at some point though for Wichita State, you're right. The conference tournament is what you want to do because you could go 0-20 and win the conference tournament and get in, and people would say, by all accounts, that was a successful year. Excuse me. Because that's what people care about. But at some point, the games have got to matter, and at some point, there's 30 of these games, and that's a lot longer of what sits in your mouth rather than a conference tournament. And to win the conference tournament takes a lot of luck too. To make a run in March Madness takes a lot of luck. At some point you have to care about the conference standings, and Wichita State does. Paul Mills says he doesn't set goals. He sets habits that turn into goals. But Shocker fans, you set goals. You have accolades that tell you how good your team is doing. So I agree with you that conference tournament seeding maybe what you want to play for at this point, but I think the biggest thing that you take away from these games is that you want your team to win, and you want to feel good about your chances to accomplish your goals later in the year. Simply speaking, in terms of winning the American Conference, I mean, it's going to take, another 7-game winning streak to get back into it, maybe.
It's going to take a lot, but like I mentioned, looking at the schedule, the opportunities are going to be there with this schedule and with the conference being as wide open really as it is this season. And I mean, if you really want to look down the road, TJ, as ugly as last night was, Wichita State gets a chance to end the regular season against Florida Atlantic in Koch Arena. Like, they'll get a chance at some payback if they can start turning a corner, but it starts in 2 days, Sunday afternoon against South Florida. Like, you got to put yourself in a position to start making those gains. Like, it's a winnable game. Road games are tough, but it is a gettable road game. You can go win that, and we'd be feeling completely different on Monday morning than we feel right now.
That's the thing that I'm talking about with North Texas. That was a game. It's just like, man, they're favored by 8, but it's just like, man, North Texas is a tough team. They don't have TJ Williams. What's that going to look like? And then it's just like, man, they look good. And, they're going to be underdogs at South Florida. South Florida is like 75 in the Ken Palm. They're one of the top teams. They have a chance that they can make a run and go win the league as well. And so it's a tough road trip, and we knew it was going to be a tough road trip for them. So just kind of a crappy taste in your mouth right now after watching the Shockers get blown out last night. People, and the one thing that you can't, I'll say this, my final point of this stuff is that you can't get to the point where Wichita doesn't care. And losing by 29 at some point last night, I'd say that 85% of Wichita, like Jackson Schneider, turned the TV off and switched over to something else. Turned to 12 News and watched the news last night, maybe, hopefully. You can't let that happen. You got to keep the city engaged because you're only as good as, the support around you. That's what Kevin Saul says. If they want to win, they need to win with Wichita. It's interesting stuff. We got a lot more coming up. What's on Tap brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring the Dub event venue at WBC Delano. Perfect for graduation parties, meetings, and reunions. Visit www.wichitabrew.com to begin booking at the Dub. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit of the Dylan Edwards situation, what we learned yesterday. It's interesting stuff. We'll come back right here on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyin.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Daily is on KFH.
High school sports coverage on Sports Daily, brought to you by Zentex Remodeling Group. Remodel your bathroom in as little as one day with Zentex Remodeling Group, ZINTEX.com. It is a high school basketball Friday. We got a Catch It Kansas show coming up tonight on 12 News on the KSCW, is where you can find that game. Lots to get into there. Are you? I know you're a high school football sicko. Do you stay up in the high school basketball ranks, Jacob or Jackson?
Excuse me? Yeah. Better get my name right if I'm going to be filling in on here, mister. Yes, I love high school basketball. I am of the belief that there's nothing more American and more entertaining than high school sports. Both good, bad, ugly, indifferent. You're getting it all in high school sports. Football, basketball, high school baseball even has been a blast. But I caught some games in the Park City Arena. I forget the Heartland Credit Union Arena is what it's called now. But last week they were holding the ABCTL G-Wall Challenge in there. Caught a couple of games very close to my house. So I went over.
So you're going as a fan. You are a sicko.
Little bit.
There you go. All right, let's keep digging in here on Sports Daily. One of the bigger news pieces that we saw yesterday regards the Derby native Dylan Edwards. He entered to recap the saga. Not that anybody listening doesn't know about this already. Is that back in November decided that he was going to use his red shirt after a weird year with K-State, with riddled with injuries and other things, and decides that he's going to enter the transfer portal back in November when the portal didn't open until January. Called it a red shirt year, left the program early, went and didn't join anybody yet, did the transfer portal, and everybody around here was just kind of wondering where it was going to be. We hadn't heard anything as of January 15th, and yesterday we kind of get the first inkling from the national outlets, Pete and Akos of On3, saying that the Kansas Jayhawks are a team that is in on Dylan Edwards. Apparently, they were setting up visits as of yesterday. Some people think the deal is done. They come back and say the deal is not done. He has not signed anywhere or committed anywhere for that matter. But KU is in the process of setting up a visit for Dylan Edwards. KU fans sure think it's going to happen. How wild would that be if Dylan Edwards is going to be a Kansas Jayhawk?
Well, it would be wild, but in this era of college football, it really would not surprise me. It wouldn't. Also, Dylan Edwards, like, talk about me being a high school sports sicko. In my time covering high school football and covering the AVCTL especially, shout out Salina Central and Salina South, Dylan Edwards is without question one of the most talented athletes I have ever seen. And so I will never say a bad word about that kid because he is special with the ball in his hands. Mm-hmm. But this will be potentially the third Big 12 team that Dylan Edwards has been on their roster. Of course, Colorado with where he played his first year. But even before that, the saga was interesting, right? Like he committed to what was it, K-State, and then it was Notre Dame, and then it ended up being Colorado where he started, transfers from Colorado, comes to K-State. That's all been a whirlwind, and now we're here. And I'll think, as interesting as the storyline is of him going to an in-state rival, like in terms of a football fit, I think Kansas is a great spot for Dylan Edwards.
Like, if you're a KU fan, I know
they need some speed.
Yeah.
Andy Kotelnicki is an offensive genius. They brought him back. You can free up Dylan Edwards in so many unique ways out of the backfield or split him out as a wide receiver. You can use him, of course, in special teams. Like, this is a home run hitter play or recruit to bring in, a player to bring in if you can do it, if you're Lance Leipold. I think it's a great win. And for Dylan Edwards, like, why not, right?
You're making it. This is the funny part of all this stuff is that KU fans are having to wrestle with the moral, moral wrestling match going on in their head here. The fact that they have, kind of talked crap on Dylan Edwards for the last 3 years. And now it's like, he'd be really good, where I'm not going to, moan about him coming over here. And so I agree with you. Football wise, that would be awesome. And transfer portal wise, Jacob and I were talking about yesterday at work. It is the coolest transfer portal story that we will have covered at this point. Like, the fact that I was trying to do research yesterday. I believe, if anybody knows anything else, but by my accounts of what I made some calls for yesterday, he'll be the first player in the transfer portal era to have gone from K-State to KU. It's never happened before. Like, by the account that I got is that if it has happened in the past, it's because it was like in the 1950s when a player just went to school there and decided to join the football team. Like, nobody's transferred from K-State to KU and made that happen. So that's how big of a deal it is. Like, football is what I'm talking about. Yeah. So that's what it is, a wild, wild story. Like, all this stuff keeps happening, but I don't know. Where did you think this is an interesting conversation of where did you think that Dylan's landing spot, could be? What do you think that the level was? Because it's not something to where he was going to go be the running back at Tennessee or go be the running back at, Oregon or something like that. It kind of felt like his window was good Big 12, maybe bottom tier SEC, that kind of thing.
I thought he was going to end up at a spot in the ACC, like an up and coming ACC team. I think that looking at him, like, you're exactly right. Like, he's not going to be the starting running back for like a national championship favorite SEC team because he's just not that big. He's not that kind of a back that's going to, get brought in like that. But he is a difference maker player. Like, if he played second fiddle in the SEC, I could see it. But I think Dylan wants to go and be the guy somewhere. And at Kansas, he can step in and he can be the guy. Like, that is a perfect fit. And we have a comment from the legend Rick talking about it's not about skill, but he obviously only cares about money. Don't think he cares about winning. And I would tell you right now that I disagree with that entirely. While money is obviously a factor in a lot of these transfer portal situations. I think that he definitely cares about winning. I mean, Dylan's issues at K-State this past year, I think, stemmed from mistakes and not winning. Like, if K-State goes 10-2 last year, is he transferring? I don't know. But I think that it's a lot of different factors. I think it's shallow to only assume it has to do with money, and that could be said for any of the like 4,000 kids in the transfer portal right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can make the argument that, if the NIL wasn't a thing, he'd still be wanting to play college football because he wants to play in the NFL. It's probably the most driving thing that he wants to do. He wants to find a good spot to prove himself to make it to the NFL. Is he getting paid? Yeah, he's getting paid. Everybody's getting paid. He probably is going to get a nice check from KU to go make that jump. I don't even know if Dylan wants to make that jump from K-State to KU, but the fit and the how bad they want him may have driven him there. I also think that there is a little part, and this is a fun conversation when you get into this part of it. I think that there's a part of Dylan Edwards that was pretty disgruntled about the way this year went at K-State, and is like, man, I can be the villain and go be like, that's probably the recruiting pitch that KU gave him. It's like, you want to be the guy, like K-State fans don't really like you right now. You want to make them really not like you? Come over here and let's go try to beat him in the Sunflower Show. Like, that's like heel turn WWE. Like, I've been waiting. Like, we joked around about Avery going into the portal as like, it would be the coolest heel turn of all time. Like, if that happened. Like, and it's going to happen with his best friend, Dylan Edwards. Like, it's crazy the storylines that are coming out of this, that Avery and Dylan are going to play each other again. It'll be the first time they've played since the Mays Derby game back in 2022. That was incredible. That like 52-51. I remember that game, talking about high school sicko. So I think that it's a lot of a fit thing. I think that, it was just a weird year last year, I think is the best way to just put that. And I think that there was disgruntledness from both sides probably, and it didn't go the way that everybody wanted it to. And I think that it just led to him going into the portal. And, KU can land him. It's a big deal for KU. I think what I'm trying to say here is that this is the thing that KU fans have been talking about and maybe trying to, with that moral wrestling match in their head, is that there's probably a part of Dylan Edwards that you think about all the stuff that went down in high school and all the stuff that went down this past year at K-State that, maybe he went in the portal and was like, like, what am I doing? Like, let's get a grip here. Let's go play some football at KU. And if you win at KU, you will flip the way that people think about you very quickly. Like right now, Dylan, and he knows Dylan's gotten some nice stuff throughout his college career, and he's gotten a lot of haters throughout it as well. Unfortunately, he's a local kid. I love Dylan. I loved covering Dylan in high school. It was awesome. He's gained some haters from the way that he's handled stuff throughout college. There's a chance that he goes to KU, they flip things around, and they start talking about Dylan Edwards as the same conversation as Jalen Daniels. If they go in the Sunflower Showdown next year, you know how much people are going to love Dylan Edwards and Lawrence, and it's hilarious to say that out loud, that it actually might happen.
He's the only Jayhawk, if he does transfer to KU, that's won the Sunflower Showdown in what, 18
20
years?
Yeah.
Years.
That's a good one.
That's pretty funny right there in and of itself. Like I see the humor in that, and I think that more importantly, like the thing that's made the transfer portal era easier to palate for me in the last few years is finding like the humor and the storylines in these transfers, because it's obviously a challenge for fans to get attached to players anymore because they're not there as long. It's very rare you see a player like an Avery Johnson that spends likely their entire career at one team. But if you can find cool transfer portal stories like this, like, enjoy yourself, because there's a lot of cool stories like this. I mean, I saw the other day, there's like 3 players from OU and Oklahoma State that have switched places. Like,
yeah, that's like everybody made a big deal about the OU Texas transfer. The guy from Texas is going to OU, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, like nothing means anything. We're going Red River rivalry and switching sides on the. It's like, I mean, yeah, maybe. Dylan being somebody from Wichita, Kansas, that was recruited by KU in high school pretty heavily as a, he's the number 2 player in the state of Kansas, or number 3. It was, back and forth between him and the Heights kid that year. Randall, that's his name. I think that this isn't something where it's like, wow, like nobody's loyal anymore. You're going to go to our rival. Like, I think that this story is really cool to be like, man, like this is a Kansas kid that's going to play at both Kansas schools. If this was somebody from West Virginia that came to K-State and was a high-level transfer at K-State, and then he went to KU, then yeah, people would be calling him a snake out of the woodwork. But like the fact that he's a Kansas kid and gets to play for both, can you imagine how cool that? Like this guy's, this is such a stupid thing to think about this. He's gonna have a man cave with a K-State and a KU jersey in it one day. You know how cool? He'll be the only person to ever have that in the last 20 years, 20, 30 years. That's awesome. Like if you're like, if I was making my Road to Glory player on NCAA, like I'd probably do it too. You know, there's reasons why you don't do it, but it's cool. There's a part of this that's really cool.
Is there any other like in-state transfer that you can think of that's like multiple schools? Because the only one that I can think of is Connor Frankamp, which was completely different.
That's true. He did one. I know that there's a high jumper from West Elk, Loudermilk, All-American. Yeah. He was at KU and just switched to K-State. And so that was a big one too. But those are the only ones that come to mind with me. Yeah, Connor Frankamp is a good example. So crazy stuff in the Dylan Edwards saga. We'll keep going here. Another hour of Sports Daily coming up. We'll talk a little bit about Patrick Mahomes' timeline as he talked for the first time. Coming up after the break, though, I want to dig into this sports betting thing as we get another saga here as we talk about this once a month. Everything keeps coming back full circle. College basketball stars caught up in some $400,000+ bets on Duquesne basketball. We'll talk about that coming up next hour here on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Welcome back into another hour of Sports Daily here on 97.5 KFH. We got a little bit more coming up here on the show. We'll get into the sports betting scandal that we saw yesterday throughout college basketball. We didn't even talk about Kyle Tucker's going to, you guessed it, the Dodgers. That's a whole other conversation to have. And we'll talk a little bit about Patrick Mahomes. In the next segment, though, we're making picks for the divisional round of the NFL and the national championship. As I said, the final picks of the college football season. The picks are getting tighter and tighter as they go. That's coming up. What's on tap? Brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company. You can drink some Buffalo Sweat, held Buffalo right here in Kansas. January and February, all 3 WBC locations, a portion of proceeds from every draft pint of Buffalo Sweat Oatmeal Cream Stout will support Maxwell Wildlife Refuge, WBC pizza and beer made here. Let's talk point shaving. We talked about this every month since I've been a full-time host on Sports Daily. There's been a new scandal. So we have gotten the January edition of this right in the middle of the month, January 15th. Abilene Christian, Alabama State, Buffalo, Coppin State, DePaul, Eastern Michigan, Fordham, Kennesaw State, LaSalle, New Orleans, Nicholls State, North Carolina A&T, Northwestern State, Robert Morris, St. Louis, Southern Miss, and Tulane, all listed in an indictment of players that are shaving points. And you guessed it, it's as simple as it sounds. A couple of guys had a sting going where they, or a ring of sports betting going where they would bet unreal amounts of money on basketball games, find a way to contact the players and say, don't cover the spread tonight. If you don't, we'll slip you $50,000, basically. As easy as it comes, it's another one. And college sports, when it's happening in college sports, makes you really kind of cringe a little bit.
Yeah, and the first thing I want to say about this is that there's going to be a group of people, I'm sure, that see this and say, well, this is what happens when sports betting is legalized, which I want to stop that right there and say the only reason we know about things like this is because sports betting has become legalized and regulated and heavily regulated at that, because this has happened a lot before, well before DraftKings and FanDuel and BetMGM and whatever you place your wagers on in the state of Kansas. Like, this is just a better way to know these things are happening, because these sports books are really smart. And when they see a $400,000 bet come in on a DePaul basketball game, they're going to pay attention to what exactly is going on, and they're going to figure it out. It's not that hard when you see the repeat patterns in games like this with Abilene Christian and LaSalle and all those other crazy little schools or mid to low majors that were mentioned in this. But even more so, this is where the NIL, to me, has really surfaced, because a lot of these schools don't have a lot of NIL budget, and the players mentioned weren't getting a lot of NIL money. So they see players across the country making, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, and they want a piece in that action. Well, how do they do it? Well, by affecting the outcomes, or at least doing their best to affect the outcomes in college basketball games. One of the funny things about this is some of the leaked text messages, Jacob. I don't know if you've seen some of these, but they would basically say, like, the people placing the bets would be texting the player asking, like, WTF, why aren't we losing by more? Like, you're playing way too well. I think one of the texts said, you're playing your ass off or something like that. But the players would then respond that the other team that they were playing was so bad that even though they're trying to throw a game, they couldn't throw the game well enough. And that just makes me laugh so hard.
It's incredible, some of the stuff that's come out of this thing. And like, the thing that gets me is that, and it's the same, and I guess I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was all on, mainstream betting sites and casinos. Like, it wasn't offshore that was hard to find, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure it was all DraftKings and FanDuel and casinos and everything like that. We're not going to offshore betting and, hooking up with bookies and doing this kind of thing. And it just blows my mind. The reason that these things get caught, and like, I get the reason why it was, because these players are fine. Like, if you go whatever, these lower level conferences, you're right, they don't make any money. And like, it's like, yeah, man, you want to give me $50,000 to miss a couple shots? Like, what's the big deal if I get caught? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? I'll get kicked off the team. No, you're going to jail, buddy. Like, that's illegal. Like, you can't do that if you get caught doing this. But like, these guys bet, I mean, the one that Pete Thamel, the biggest number, $458,000 on Towson to beat North Carolina A&T. Like, how many people in the world have ever watched Towson versus UNC A&T? Like, that's of course it's going to raise an eyebrow. Even if it's a legal bet, like, you're going to get on a list very quickly if you put anything with a comma down on Towson basketball or UNC A&T basketball. Like, this is the list of Pete Thamel, and if anybody missed this, $458,000 on Towson to beat UNC A&T. $424,000 on Kent State against the first half spread against Buffalo. $275,000 on South Alabama to cover the first half spread against Southern Miss. That was the one you're referencing there. $256,000 Northern Kentucky to cover the first half spread against Robert Morris. Like, how many people listening to the show have watched a Robert Morris basketball game in their life? Not many.
I can say I know for a fact I have watched one. If you remember back in the day, Kentucky went to the NIT and had to play at Robert Morris and lost. That's the only time I've ever watched a Robert Morris game in my entire life.
Yeah, I remember
in my entire life. But more so, to your point, TJ, like, all those huge bets obviously raise eyebrows. But more so than that, it's like these fixers, I guess, were attached to multiple gambling rings, or at least multiple people within this same ring, where they'd have like 10 different people placing maybe smaller bets, but the volume of bets that would be placed on a suspicious game, because of what you just said, like, who's watching these games, who's betting on these games, when all of a sudden you get 15 bets for $500 on the same game on the same day, people are going to start to notice. And that these really smart sports books figure it out almost immediately, and then they investigate and check into other bet histories, and it doesn't take long to place kind of line all these things up and figure out what's going on.
I'm with you. You're completely right on the fact that it makes it easier to catch these kind of things. Has it, spurred an addiction in 20-year-olds across the country? I mean, that's probably yes. That's the bad part of this. The good part of it is the fact that I agree. I mean, it can maybe help with this kind of thing. It's a lot of it has come to the light recently, and that maybe because of the addiction that has been spurred from this stuff. That's a whole thing. I don't know if you saw this quote from Tom Winter, NBC News. One of the men charged with helping to allegedly coordinate the CBA betting scheme, Shane Hennon, allegedly texted a co-schemer, "Nothing guaranteed in this world but death, taxes, and Chinese basketball." That is one of the greatest tweets I've ever seen in my life, because they're betting on the Guangdong Tigers. That's the Shaq one. The Guangdong Tigers, ni hao. So it's just a crazy story. The one that's really getting me the most from this is of the players listed in this. Kevin Cross is the former Tulane star who, cooked Wichita State one game, if I remember correctly, when they came to the Roundhouse. That's the one that's like, that's not Robert Morris. I mean, that's Tulane. I think they got crossed over with like East Carolina and Florida Atlantic, I believe, are the two that were listed in the indictment. But like Kevin Cross is a player that played at Tulane all 4 years, was their best player for 2 years. Like that, I don't know about any of the rest of these guys, but in college basketball, it'd be easy to target somebody that's like, yeah, I'm a transfer. I'm playing 1 year at Tulane. Like, I don't care about this team. Like, sure, I'll throw a game or two. Like, this guy was the face of your team, and he was taking money to throw games. Like, that's the one where it's just like, oh, man, like, that's not good. Like, none of it's good. But, like, if you've got the best player on teams that are just fine with being like, yeah, I mean, who cares about the conference race? Who cares about, trying to make the tournament? Like, I made $50,000 today. That's cool. And I think Tulane ended up losing money for them in the indictment, it said. But still, like, to see somebody of that stature doing this is the one that really got me going of like, oh, that's not good.
The other thing to me that's really fascinating to think about is that like a lot of these teams involved, it's 1, 2, maybe 3 guys per team that's involved. So you've got just a couple of guys out there trying to negatively affect the outcome for your team, while the rest of the team is actively, doing their darndest night in and night out like normal. And to me, it's so funny because, like, if you're a basketball coach and your best player is having a really bad night, like, do you take him out? Do you leave him in? Like, does the kid that's trying to fix the game, if they get put on the bench because they're playing so dang bad, do they get penalized by these gamblers? Like, how does that all work? It's just fascinating to think about. But
it's wild.
I never would have thought that it would have been, what is it, 20 teams involved or 20 kids over the last couple of seasons. Something it's like insane. That. And I will say this as well. Though it's easier to catch stuff like this because of gambling being legalized now, I would argue it's a lot easier to start or attempt to start these sorts of things.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to catch. That's the thing, is that it's easy to catch the guys that are betting $500,000. What about the buddy whose roommate just bet $200 on Robert Morris? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part of this where it's just like, man, do we need to change the way that this is all legalized? Because we're giving college kids a lot of power over a lot of money at this point. And, like in Arizona, perfect example, they don't even legalize player props for college kids. It's a whole thing. I don't understand it. It's wild story. It keeps evolving. Coming up after the break, the cast of characters that we will have joining us. I believe we'll have Brandon and Paul coming in as we're going to make some Friday football picks. Stick around.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is time for the Friday football picks. We've got Paul Savage in the studio. We don't have a camera on him, but we're working on it. I think that the fans should vote of who they want to see on camera more, Jackson or Paul, and get those guys switched around maybe. But Paul is here. Tommy is not. Jacob is not either. And so we've got 4 of us going here for the final way here. Jackson filling in for Jacob. I think that we should combine their names, Jacob and Jackson, and we can call it Jacob. We got a comment here from Jason as we're getting into the final couple of weeks. He's completely right. He's got TJ winning it all this year, but Paul will find a way to make some noise. Jason, I'll tell you right now, Paul always finds a way to make a lot of noise every time he's in the studio, and we hear about it a lot.
There you go. And by the way, how about some recaps from last week? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think I kind of won last week, didn't I?
Paul, let me tell you, you did not. Last week, TJ Cleveland with the win last week. I go 6-1. I was one. Steelers went away on Monday Night Football from a perfect week, going 7-0. After that, Paul goes 5-2. He's right about that. Brandon goes 5-2 as well. Then Jacob at 4-3, and Tommy at 3-4. TJ now with the lead in this one. He takes a 1-game lead over Jacob after the 6-1 week at 65 and 61. Then Jacob and Brandon both with 64 wins. Paul's at 60 and 66. And Tommy's the first one to crack 70 losses. He is at 54 and 73, and it's getting worse by the week. It's not good.
No wonder he didn't want to show up today.
No kidding. He's done this a couple times. I would too. I think he should just call it quits on the radio career and just be the boss at this point. He's not very good at it anymore.
Well,
with that, we've got some divisional games to pick. We've got a national championship to pick. So Max, hit the music.
Hey, sports bettors, ready for some picks destined to fail? Time to hear what the Sports Daily staff thinks of the weekend games.
All right, let's get into it. We'll start with the Saturday games of the NFL playoffs that we've got. Bills versus Broncos. You can watch this one on KWCH. It is the early game on Saturday. Broncos favored by 1.5 is where we'll pick it at. It's basically a pick 'em. Who do you like in this one, Bo Nix or Josh Allen? Since I won last week, I'll get us started and go first. And there is no way that I am picking the Broncos in this game. I think that the Bills aren't as good as what they have been in the past, but the Broncos are just, they're frauds. That's what we call them every week on Sports Daily. I can't pick them over Josh Allen and all the people out in Buffalo. I'm going to take the Bills to get this one done on the road as underdogs, but it's going to be a really good game. That takes us to Brandon.
Now, to clarify, Jackson is making picks for Jacob. Is that
Correct.
What we're doing here?
It is, and if it's it's an asterisk if they win.
I would like to first off just propose before we get too far into the weeds that we don't send out the recap this week. We just tell Jacob he lost every game next week. Yeah. See what his reaction is.
I'll send
we'll break the news. But Jackson, I just want to get Jacob's reaction. No shade on you at all.
He said he can be bought point shaving style like Kevin Cross at Tulane.
The problem is I might be like these basketball players that no matter how hard I try to throw it, I might not be good enough.
Then it's a win-win. Regardless, I think I like my spot here. I think I have a read on what everyone else is going to do. Give me the Broncos. I love this defense. I'm just going to leave it at that. Give me Denver at home.
That takes us to Paul.
Well, it's obvious. It's obvious. Brandon, he believes he's going to get an island, doesn't he? I mean, that's his comment. He wants an island. He thinks he's going to get an island. And you know something? He just might, but he's not going to get it from me. I'm taking the Bills.
Ooh. No. Okay, that takes us to Team Jackson Jacob. What do you like there, Jackson?
Well, I saw a tweet yesterday from a Broncos fan account saying David versus Goliath in regards to the Broncos being the David as
they're the favorites,
the home team, the favorites. And for that alone, I just can't support the Broncos in this. I'm taking the Bills.
I don't blame you. Brandon does get the island. Tommy picks the Bills as well. That is a Broncos island, the 1 seed in the AFC island in their first playoff game. That takes us to 49ers Seahawks. This is the late Saturday game. I am enamored to watch this game. I can't wait. We'll start with Brandon here. Seahawks favored by 7 at home.
This line is just begging everyone to take the Niners. That's what Vegas wants you to do. No George Kittle, no Fred Warner. We don't know if Ricky Pearsall is going to be out there. They might ask me to suit up this weekend, and for that reason alone, I'm gonna take the Niners. I'm gonna take the Vegas bet.
You make this so hard to fill out my freaking spreadsheet when you guys do this Lee Corso
Niners.
crap. That takes us to Paul Savage.
I'll tell you what, watching that game with the 49ers last week, you watched a football team that actually stunk, and I'm using the word stunk, for 3 quarters and pulled out a win. How did they do it? I don't know. How did they do it? But they did it. This is a team that's winning, and all the hype with Fred Warner coming back. My God, give it a rest. You see scenes of the guy in practice. He's still hobbling. He's not 100%. Give me a break. Nobody thought he was coming back. I didn't think he was coming back. I'm going to take the 49ers. I think the 49ers, now here's the thing. They got to play at least 2 quarters that are good football. You can stink in the first 2 quarters. Don't stink in the third and the fourth, because you need to be good enough to beat the Seahawks. I'm taking the 49ers. And come on, 49ers. Don't stink so bad.
Another hook, line, and sinkum from Paul there. He's picking the Niners. We go to Jackson. Jacob, what do you like here?
Well, I'm in a tough position on this one, because the more you get to know me, the more you'll know that I am the biggest Brock Purdy hater that may ever exist, because I couldn't stand him at Iowa State, and yet he finds a way to be Mr. Irrelevant and be admittedly a fairly good NFL quarterback. But I just can't get over that hatred. But on the other sideline is Sam Darnold. What am I doing here?
You hate Sam Darnold too. These are the 2 most likable guys in the NFL.
The problem is I think they both stink, but I'm going to go with Sam Darnold in this one.
Well, wait a second. You know something? Would you let Brock Purdy date your daughter?
Well, I don't have a daughter yet.
Well, but if you had a daughter, you'd want somebody like Brock Purdy to date your daughter.
Maybe.
He's a good guy. He's a good quarterback. You know, Iowa State, for God's sake, what bad can you say about Iowa State? All I'm saying is I think you'd let Brock Purdy date your daughter.
I don't
That's
know.
a conversation that we'll have another day, Paul Savage. We got to keep going here. Tommy's not with us. Tommy's not with us. Tommy picks the 49ers. He's taking the points there. Do I want to give Jackson Albrocht an island here with the Seahawks? I don't think I do. I think I'm going to play the gamesmanship. I'm going to take the Seahawks here as well. So TJ and Jacob / Jackson going with the Seahawks. Will you take this to Sunday's NFL slate? The Texans and the Patriots. We've got Drake May favored by 3 points in this one over the Texans. No hook. We could be pushing some danger here. We start with Paul. Paul, do you like the Pats at home?
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't take the Pats much in the first half of the season. It cost me. I've kind of converted back. I'll tell you what, they've done really well for me. At this point, I think this is anybody's game. And of course, being in New England, that helps a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take the Patriots just for the reason that they're playing pretty good football. I'm going to take the Patriots.
I think the Texans have the longest winning streak.
It's true they do, but that's all right. Paul watches Paul wants to watch.
Technicalities.
We go to Jacob Schneider.
I think I want to take the Texans just to try and make Max mad, because I think that the Texans defense is going to be too much to handle. I think they're going to be all over the backfield. I think it's going to be a tough night in Foxborough. And I think, although CJ Stroud still has me wondering if he's a good enough quarterback, that defense is just going to carry them to a win. Give me the Texans.
For some reason, Max is the biggest Patriots fan on earth, and he still won't admit that they're good this year. He keeps saying it's a rebuilding year. I don't understand it. So
they're a year away, Jacob.
They're a year away. They're only the 2 seed in the AFC and have one of the best teams in the NFL.
They're a year away.
All right.
All right. The best.
Pipe down, Max. I got to pick. I'm taking the Patriots because if they're not a year away, I think that they're going to go to the Super Bowl this year. I'll be the Patriots fan if nobody else here wants to be, for no good reason other than I like Drake May. I think he's a cool guy. I'd let him date my daughter, Paul Savage. I'm taking Drake May. I'm going to lay the 3 points at home. That takes us to Brandon.
I'd let him date Paul Savage.
Who did Tommy pick?
Tommy picked Patriots.
That makes me really nervous to take the Patriots, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna take the Patriots. CJ Stroud, no Nico Collins this week. That Texans offense, it's gonna be like a 17-13 win. Give me the Patriots.
There you go. That is an island for Jackson Alshner. I don't know how to make that last name work there. To the Sunday night game, the NFC, the Rams are the lone road dog that we have this week. They're favored on the road by 3.5 at the Chicago Bears. People are saying the Bears are back, but Jacob thinks that the Rams can win the Super Bowl. We don't know what Jackson thinks about that. Jackson, what do you think here?
I think the Rams can win the Super Bowl. I just don't think they will win the Super Bowl. And the thing about this is I think the Bears have a little team of destiny in them, and they're playing at home. I'm going to take Caleb Williams and his painted nails and hope for the best.
That's right. Suck it, Jacob. You're not picking the Super Bowl champions this week.
Jacob's going to hate that pick.
Oh, that's so funny. We're taking the Bears plus 3.5 there. We go to Tommy. He also picks the Bears in this one. That takes us to TJ. Oh, man, I really want to take the Bears, but now that the window's there, take the Rams. I think I'm going to go ahead and just take the Rams in this one. I'm not picking anything that I want to pick in this one. I'm just playing defense at this point as we get later and later into the season. I got to make Jason Carey on the YouTube comments proud and hope that I can win it this year. I'll take the Rams minus 3.5. Takes us to Brandon.
I mean, the Bears, everything has just come down to the last moment all season long, all the comebacks. I think this is where it all ends. The Rams are just too good on the road. Give me Matt Stafford up in Chicago.
The team of destiny must end this round in the divisional. Paul Savage, do you agree? You feel like a Rams guy to me, but you also like destiny.
Well, I do like, I do. Oh, I guess I like destiny, but here's the thing. I don't trust Williams. I don't trust him. I don't know.
I knew this is where he was going.
Is that
distractions?
I'm just not sure about the guy. I don't trust his maturity level in this league yet. I'm going to take the Rams, and because you never know what you're going to get with the Rams, so I'm going to with the Bears. So I'm going to take the Rams.
There you go. He has taken the Rams. That means that Jacob and Tommy are the lone people riding with Caleb Williams. That's all the NFL games we got. We have one more college football game to pick. Man, we've picked some doozies. Thinking back to Michigan, Ohio State. No, we didn't pick that one. We picked West Virginia, Houston, or whatever the hell that game was back then. One more game for all the marbles. Miami and Indiana for the national championship down in Miami Gardens. Indiana, the Hoosiers are favored by 8.5 points in a college football national championship game. It is insane to think about. We start with Tommy. And Tommy is laying those points, 8.5 points for the Hoosiers. He is going to lay them. That takes it to TJ. And man, Indiana feels like they can beat anybody by any point. And if they're winning this game, they are going to win this game by 30 because they're not going to take their foot off the brake until the final 000s are on the board. I think I'm going to lay the Hoosiers too. I think they've proven you that they will cover anything that you put in front of them, and they are a cover machine. And I think that they're just really stinking good. I'm going to lay the Hoosiers as well. Takes us to Brandon.
They haven't shown me yet that they're not going to go out and beat anybody by 21 points. So I'm just going to go anticipate them to do it yet again this week. The Kurt Cignetti train rolls into a national championship victory. Give me the Hoosiers.
Crazy. The future Steelers head coach is going to get it done. That takes us to Paul Savage.
Not so fast, my friend. A little tribute to Lee Corso. Not so fast. Have you guys been watching the playoffs? Have you been watching Miami at all?
Yeah.
Miami might be the most physical football team on the line of scrimmage that's in the entire playoffs. You watch them on their offensive line push around people. You watch their defensive line get pushed on offensive lines. I'm telling you right now, that's not a trait one often thinks about when they think of Miami. They think of speed, don't they? I mean, do you not think of speed? I know you think of speed, right?
I think of speed and I think of defense.
Yeah, there you go. Defense. Well, they've had some pretty good offense. But the point is that this is a team that still has that speed, but this is a team that is more physical than you guys are giving them. I'm taking Miami, and they might win by a touchdown or two.
The Canes or Paul Savage is going against his own morals. Remember the time that Paul Savage said Miami can't win football games because there's too many hot women down there? And he's going against his morals and saying they can get it done against Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah, there you
Crazy.
go. Yeah.
Jacob Jackson, take us home. One more pick.
I win. Google me. Give me the Hoosiers.
Who?
That's
Hoosiers. Paul Savage gets a Miami Island. Crazy. Is that the team of destiny, Paul Savage?
and a team of destiny. I'm telling you guys, I didn't see them coming because I'll be real truthful. I don't remember watching Miami a whole lot during the season on TV, sitting down and, watching the quarters. I just didn't do it. I did not watch much Miami. And now you got them in the playoffs. And I'm telling you guys right now, don't look past their physicality. That is one physical football team up front. And you're going to know who wins this game pretty early by whoever's offensive and defensive lines get pushed. That's the team that's going to win this football game.
That's the one thing that I think keeps Miami in it, but I can't go against Cignetti. He looks like he's going to murder all the players on the far sideline. Like he's just out there to kill them. In cold blood.
They're going to win by 30. They're going to win by 30 points, and Cignetti's not going to smile a single time about it. TJ and Brandon, both are laying points in 4 of these games. Brandon got that Broncos island. There's the Texans island that Jackson got there, and then Paul got a Miami island. This could be the week that could decide it. TJ and Brandon kind of riding steady here, but Jacob has some parity between TJ and Brandon. So if he's going to win it, this is the week that he can make his case and make the push there. As we've only got, 4 more games to pick, right? Or 3 more games to pick after this. Yeah, 2 conference championships and a Super Bowl.
Well, what we'll do is we'll start picking some, over-unders, and we'll start.
I didn't realize that you made the rules here, Paul Savage, huh?
We can do Chinese basketball.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, listen.
Anybody want to pick Southern Miss Robert Morris?
10 years ago, I remember
the Guangdong Tigers.
Meow. All right, those are the picks for you, everybody. TJ with the lead going into divisional week and the national championship of the college football playoff. Crazy that we're already here, but we've been doing this for 4 months now on Friday mornings. It's been a lot of picks. We're what is that? 126 picks down heading into this week. So we're going to get to the 130 range of how many games that we're going to go through. Jackson, maybe you go 5-0 and you can hold it over all of us. That you're the only person with a winning record. So we'll see. How did it feel, Jackson? How did it feel making your debut?
It felt like I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm going to get in trouble. Like, does that make sense? Like, I feel like no matter what picks I made, Jacob was not going to be happy. So I was just out here playing it by vibes.
He had authority to Texas picks in.
That's right. Hey, listen, we're Royals fans here. We know what it's like to have a lead and bring in the reliever and blow it. It happens sometimes. You're the Angel Serpa of Sports Daily. Holland. Yeah, you ain't Greg Holland. I'll tell you that much. You might be. What was the closer last year? Who was the closer last? James MacArthur. Do you remember James MacArthur had the walkout song for one game and then blew the lead, never had the walkout song again? That may be the closer that Jackson Schneider is. That's the picks for the week. We're out of time here. We got one more segment coming up. Jackson and I will take you on home. We'll talk a little Patrick Mahomes coming up after the break. Appreciate it, everybody.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Daily on KFH.
All right, welcome back in here to Sports Daily. Appreciate everybody and the cast of characters coming to make some Friday football picks with us. We've got them all written down in the sacred spreadsheet. We'll send them out to everybody except Jacob Albrock. He does not get to see what Jackson picks. We're going to make him blindly sweat until next Friday, and then he will get it revealed to him after everything plays out. Well, let's do a little Chiefs talk here to wrap us up here in this final segment. Yesterday, Mahomes talked for the first time since tearing his ACL back a month ago. Is just a month and 2 days ago at this point whenever he tore that against the Chargers. First time he speaks, it's at a Zoom conference with reporters, local media in Kansas City about how everything's going. And the biggest headline that he said right off the bat is that rehab's going good. I have goals that I'm trying to hit, and I'm hitting them as I go along. And the doctors say that it's possible that I can be ready for week 1. That's what he's aiming for. We now know the target date, but it's, potentially something, could slow that down. Rehab is a weird process and things go awry sometimes. but we now know Mahomes is going to try for week 1. Do you think it's possible, Jackson?
Oh, I absolutely think it's possible. With the advances in modern science and technology and the medical field, and not to mention the deep pockets of both the Kansas City Chiefs organization and the Patrick Mahomes family now, they're going to have every possible advantage to get him back to week 1 that they could possibly have. That said, I wouldn't rush it. Like, if he comes back week 1 versus week 4, but feels better week 4, what's preventing you from waiting just a little bit? I mean, obviously the Chiefs want to get back to winning, but I just want to see the quarterback of that team play like the quarterback that he is or was, and I don't want him to go back there quickly, injure himself again, and then for the Patrick Mahomes era to be over prematurely. So I want him to play it cautious, but I understand that they have everything possibly available to them to get him back by week 1.
This is the thing. You said it exactly right there, is that if he comes back, I mean, it sounds like, and things are going to change as we go along through this process, is that like he's targeting week 1, and that doesn't mean that he's targeting a return to the start of the season. He's not going to play a snap of football in training camp, probably. Like, he's not going to, I don't even know if he's going to go to St. Joe. Like, if he does, he's not going to be able to play. And then he's not going to be in OTAs. He's not going to be in those practices. Like, week 1 could be his first, and he'll probably be questionable in week 1 if that's when he was going to return. And that's scary of, your franchise guy, your $50 million guy going back there to take snaps at center who hasn't touched a football basically, seen defenders coming at him since he tore his ACL. Like, that's kind of scary to do. So I'm with you in the camp of, I don't want to rush this thing. I'd be fine if it's Halloween and we get him back, if that's what it's going to take to get and that's the other question too, is what does Mahomes look like if it's not a 100% Mahomes? We've seen him with a bum ankle before, but not a bum knee. So I don't know what that looks like.
Well, one thing he did say also was talking about, what the rehab looks like and what his involvement in the team looks like, even though he's not going to be fully healthy this summer. And he was adamant that he's going to be in the building and that it's really important for him to be in the building and to be a part of the conversations that may include a retooling of the offensive scheme or getting a new offensive coordinator, some new coaches or new players. He wants to be involved in all of that, despite the fact that he's going to be rehabbing a knee. And he also said that he's going to do as much as the doctors let him do throughout the stages of rehabilitation. So he's going to be out there, at least maybe he'll be sitting in a chair, but he's going to be trying to throw a football and be in the facility. So at least you can feel good about that. He's not going to just show up in September for the first time.
Yeah.
He's going to be heavily involved in everything the Chiefs do. It's just a matter of what he's allowed to do throughout the rehabilitation process that really worries me. But as you mentioned, what does he look like after a knee injury? Is he less mobile? I think I would argue he needs to be less mobile if he wants to have a longer career in the NFL. He's never been a Lamar Jackson type anyway, but part of what makes him special is his ability to move the pocket and avoid pressure and all this. Is he still going to be able to do that after a knee injury? We don't really know, because a lot of times you suffer an injury like that and you're not quite the same mover that you once were. I mean, you lose some trust in your knee, you lose a little wiggle in your game. Like, does that change Patrick Mahomes entirely?
It's interesting because Patrick Mahomes wasn't a running quarterback until the last 2 years when his offensive line wasn't very good and he had to become a running quarterback. And then he learned this is something and that's what it kind of seemed like. So that might be gone. I don't know what he can do at that point. Is he going to be a pocket passer? If he is, Mahomes is a good pocket passer, but he thrives in improvising. And so I don't know what that looks like on a knee that may not be 100%. So I'm in the camp of, let's not push this, but I also agree that I know that it is Patrick Mahomes, as that's what Jacob's been saying the entire time since it happened. Is it if anybody's going to try to do that, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes from what we've seen from his, rehabs, from his other injuries and things of that nature. The thing that I think makes it really interesting with all this conversation that's gotten thrown into this is that, as we've said multiple times, 2026 is a year that is going to be weird regardless of what happens, because there might not be Travis Kelce. We don't know that answer yet. Might not be Jawan Taylor if that's a roster move that everybody kind of thinks is coming. There may not be Isaiah Pacheco or Kareem Hunt or Hollywood Brown or a lot of guys on this roster. And it's going to look a lot different. You talk about Rashee Rice is obviously, allegations and everything. We don't know what that's going to look like. Is obviously a touchy situation, but do you rush him? Like, not rush him, but like, is there more emphasis on him to come back if there's that many question marks? Or is that maybe saying like, I don't know what that's going to look like. Maybe just take your time and we'll figure it out, because we don't want to put you out there and rush you back onto the field with this group of guys that can you win a Super Bowl with those group of guys? I don't know.
Well, I think it's important for him to get back out there as soon as possible, because if you can have one thing be a constant with this team, you want it to be your quarterback. You want it to be Patrick Mahomes. And if you're bringing in a lot of new faces, if you're retooling a lot of different positions, especially on offense, all the guys that you just mentioned potentially being gone, you need some stability. And the only person that's going to provide that stability is Patrick Mahomes. And it may not be great. It may not be a work in progress. It may be the Patriots model that Max says of being a rebuilding year next year. But you've got to have Patrick Mahomes as much as you can. Now, like we said, is that week 1? Is that week 4? Is it Halloween? I don't know. But the sooner you can get him back on the field, the better. And the team will be better for it.
The one thing that I think also throws a wrinkle in this, or a wrinkle in the conversation of this, is Travis Kelce. Nobody asked about Travis Kelce yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't see anything that he said about Travis Kelce in his press conference. And that, to me, if Mahomes is actually going to try to find a way to get back week 1, to me, that helps the chances that Kelce might return. I don't think Kelce wants to return to come play for Chris Oladokun for a couple of weeks.
Well, that's another point that I neglected to make, is like, who's playing quarterback right now? Is it Chris Oladokun? Because I hope not. As
I don't think it
cool the story as it was at first, boy, was it rough there at the end of this past season. But Gardner Minshew tore his ACL too, and Shane Buechele is another option. But do the Chiefs go and sign a different backup quarterback to try and?
They probably have to.
But what's available? I mean, you can't bring in.
I mean, I know that's a fun conversation at that point of who the backup, because this is going to be, the backup is always an important position, but the backup is going to be really important this year, because it's like, we got a quarterback coming back from ACL injury. Like, do you go get an old guy? Do you go get Jameis Winston? Do you go get Joe Flacco? Or do you roll the dice and, bring in a young guy? I don't know what you do at that point. If Mahomes is going to play week 1, it takes a little bit of the emphasis away from that, but he might be needed. I don't know.
Is Mac Jones a free agent?
Yeah, that'd be a good one. I'd like that one. I wouldn't complain about that.
Went out for a good chunk of this year, and he played pretty well.
Mm-hmm. He was a viable fantasy football option, let me tell you.
Yeah.
He's good. Jameis Winston is the pipe dream. Everybody wants Jameis Winston. I don't even know. I think he's still under contract with the Giants, but everybody wants Jameis Winston. It'd be so cool. Before we wrap up here, forgot to mention we have KU basketball on a Friday night. Was so caught up with the high school ranks. We have KU to talk about. They played great on Tuesday night. They have Baylor tonight. Baylor is basically in the basement of the Big 12. They've got a big win, though, against Oklahoma State earlier this week. What KU team do you think we're going to see on the court tonight? Tuesday's edition or the West Virginia edition?
I think somewhere in between. I think you're going to get the middle ground, but because it's so hard to replicate what they did against Iowa State. That was a generational KU performance. That may be one of the best games they play all season against one of the best opponents they'll play all season. I thought that was extremely impressive, but I also felt like for the most part of that game in Morgantown, you saw a more realistic KU. I mean, they had an 8-point second half lead. It just died and died hard at the end of that game. So I'm thinking you're getting somewhere in the middle of all that, and I expect KU to win. But I'm more upset they're playing on a Friday night. What the heck?
Sucks.
We used to be a proper country where you'd play on Monday or Tuesday night and then Saturday afternoon, and life would be good. But now that life has no meaning, we're playing on Tuesdays and Fridays.
We've got a national championship game on a Monday night. Everything is misconstrued. I'm telling you.
How did we get here as a country?
Oh, don't get me started. K-State, they play on Saturday, a 9 p.m. tip-off at Oklahoma State. I just saw Killis Robinette's tweet that they are the only Big 12 basketball game that will conflict with Saturday Night Live. They start at 9 o'clock down in Stillwater. Not even a West Coast game. It's in Stillwater, Oklahoma at 9 p.m. Off the rails. You can catch that coverage. It'll begin at 8 o'clock here. That's over on KNSS, excuse me. You can hear Wyatt Thompson on the call there for the pregame show starting at 8. Game starts at 9 o'clock. NFL football here tomorrow. We have the 2:30 game, Bills and Broncos on KFH. Coverage starts at 2:30, excuse me. And then 49ers and Seahawks. That pregame coverage will start at 6:30. Busy weekend, lots of sports to watch. This is a busy show. There's a lot of stuff to get to.
Yeah, there's a lot to get to, but you neglected to mention of all the busy things happening tomorrow, the busy sports schedule.
Tell me who they're playing.
Number 1 Washburn visiting Fugate Gymnasium.
Oh man, you're gonna get the. Are you gonna get to the bottom of the Brett Ballard rumors? Are you gonna get him on the show after the game? Say, Coach, are you the UMKC head coach next year, or what's going on? He actually talked about that earlier this week. I know. Washburn's good. I know they're really good.
They're very good. They got a good scare last night from Emporia State. I know we got some Hornets listeners
Turnpike tussle.
Yeah, it was a good game, but Washburn's still undefeated. It's going to be fun. I will say, I would much rather him be potentially the next head coach at Kansas State than UMKC, and I think
that's not going to happen.
Backward. We don't have to waste our breaths on this.
That would be the wildest story if K-State hired a Division II coach. That would be nuts. I wonder what the people would think about that, because I feel like K-State fans are at a point right now where they're pretty sick of Jerome Tang, that they may be excited if it was anybody. Like, you could get Jacob Albrock coaching that team and they may celebrate that. And
he's got to figure out that 5th grade offense, though. He's not.
No kidding. Maybe not Jacob Albrock. The Bolts aren't looking too good. It doesn't sound like. It does. That's an interesting thought, because he's a Kansas guy too. They might like him. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen though. But he will be coaching Division I basketball. As much as he keeps deferring and saying that he likes his job at Washburn, it's a different life in Division I. Brett Ballard, and you know it. Very much so. All right, we'll come back. We got a little bit more Sports Daily. Don't go away.